Here we go. Bernie Sanders speaking now in California. Let's listen in.
Throughout the state of California, one of the things that I enjoy very much is getting out to communities where other candidates often do not go, and those include some pretty small towns. And we have been just amazed at the kind of turnouts that we have seen at these rallies, which have been attended in the last several weeks by over 215,000 Californians. And tonight, we're going to be holding the last rally of our California campaign here in San Francisco. We hope to have a good turnout there as well. And let me repeat what I have said from day one here in California, which I think most people agree with. If the turnout is high tomorrow, we will win. If the turnout is very high, I think we will win by big numbers. If the turnout is low, we will probably lose. So my request, obviously, to the people of California, to those people who are prepared to stand up and fight for real change in this country, is please come out and vote tomorrow. Let us see California have the highest voter turnout in the history of this state in terms of the Democratic primary. The message of our campaign throughout California, and in fact throughout the country, has been, I think, very consistent. It has been straightforward, and I think it is the message that working people in the middle class want to hear, and that it is just too late for establishment politics and establishment economics. We need real change in this country, not superficial change, but real change. Which will end the trend in our country of moving toward an oligarchic form of society in which a handful of extraordinarily wealthy people control both the political and economic life of our nation. Today, we have a corrupt campaign finance system in which billionaires and super PACs and large corporations are able to buy elections. We have a rigged economy in which study after study shows that almost all new income and wealth is going to the top 1% at a time when the middle class continues to shrink and shrink and shrink, and when millions of our people are working longer hours for lower wages. We will not, in my view, be able to move forward as a nation and address these crises unless, in fact, there is a political solution in which millions of people stand up, fight back, and demand a government which represents all of us and not just wealthy campaign contributors. We need a president and we need a government which will lead us into comprehensive immigration reform, where today we have 11 million people living in the shadows, living in fear because they are undocumented. We need real criminal justice reform so that we end the international embarrassment of having more people in jail than any other country on earth. We need to pass a Medicare for all health care system so that we do not remain the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people. If we do not address the planetary crisis of climate change, this world and our children and our grandchildren will pay the price, which is why I believe we need bold action and why we need a tax on carbon. I've gone around California and I learned something that I did not know, and that there were tens of thousands of families in this state living in homes where when they turn on the tap, they cannot get drinkable water. That is a growing crisis in America and throughout the world, which is why, in my view, we have got to ban fracking today. Lastly, it is clear to me that we have got to do everything that we can as a nation to make certain that Donald Trump does not become president of the United States. It is incomprehensible to me that in the year 2016, in the year 2016, given all that we have gone through as a nation for hundreds of years in trying to end racism, trying to end bigotry, trying to end discrimination, that we have a candidate of a major political party today who is essentially running his campaign on bigotry, on insulting Mexicans and Latinos, on insulting Muslims, on insulting African Americans, on insulting women. And that is really quite mind-boggling that this is taking place in the year 2016, and clearly it is imperative that we do everything that we can to see that that type of bigotry does not end up in the White House. I am very proud that in virtually every national poll and every statewide poll done, including the recent polls here in California, we are defeating Trump, and we are defeating him badly. Just here in California, not to mention every other state. The last three polls had us beating Trump by 34 points, by 29 points, and by 23 points. And the last point that I would make is that in all of these polls, and in virtually every poll done nationally and in various states, we defeat Trump by larger numbers than does Secretary Clinton. And in some cases, he is actually losing to Trump when we are defeating him. And the last point is the recent insults to Judge Gonzalo Curiel are again beyond comprehension. This is the year 2016. To attack a judge because he has a Mexican heritage, a man born in the state of Indiana. This is a candidate of one of the large major political parties in this country. It is really quite incomprehensible, and I think the American people understand that. Now, in terms of where we are politically, I think I've said pretty much everything that I had to say a few days ago, but if there are any questions on any of the issues.
What do you say to women?
Excuse me.
What do you say to women?
Excuse me.
What do you say to women who say
Excuse
that
me.
you're staying in the race? What do you
Excuse
say to
me.
women who say
Excuse
that you're staying in
me.
the race?
Excuse
I'm
me,
asking
ma'am.
a question.
Well, your other hands are up
What
as
do you
well.
say to-
Jeffrey, do you have a
what do you say to
question?
women?
After she
What do you say to women who say that you staying in the race? What do you say to women who say that you staying in the race is sexist because you're standing in the way of what could be the first female president?
Is that a serious question?
Yes, it is a serious question.
That any woman who is running for president, anyone who opposes your question implies that any woman, that any person, any woman who is running for president is by definition the best candidate. So any woman who runs.
But you would also have
to say that it is sexist that any. So if Hillary Clinton runs for president, is your point that it is sexist for any man to oppose her?
No, my point is that if she has more delegates than you tomorrow,
Well, that's another
in the
point.
race,
That
in
is
the race,
that
is
is not.
sexist.
Well, I don't think it is sexist. I think the issue is, first of all, our focus right now is running and winning right here in California. And the second point that I have made is that it is absolutely imperative that we defeat Donald Trump as president of the as a candidate for president of the United States. I believe I'm the stronger candidate. Yeah, Jeffrey.
Senator, you said that you must do everything you can to keep Donald Trump from winning the White House. Do you believe that includes trying to thwart Hillary Clinton from becoming the party
Trying to thwart Hillary Clinton from becoming president? The issue is who is the better candidate to become president of the United States and to defeat Trump. Right now, our focus is on winning the largest state in this country, winning South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, and New Mexico, and doing the best we can in New Jersey. New Jersey is going to be a difficult state for us. But our goal is to get as many delegates as we possibly can and to make the case to superdelegates that I believe the evidence is fairly strong that I am the strongest candidate.
At what point do you become a spoiler, though, Senator?
Well, first of all, let us focus. I really hesitate, as you all know, Joe, to be engaged in speculation. If I win tomorrow in California, and if we do very well, and I don't know that we will, we may, if we do well in the other states, if there are superdelegates out there who say, you know what, looking at the objective evidence of polling, looking at the objective evidence of who has the strongest grassroots campaign and can bring out the larger voter turnout, which I think is crucial for November. If some of those superdelegates begin to think it is Bernie Sanders, I think that that is not an insignificant
But they should overturn the will of the voters?
Chris.
Thank you, Senator. Back in 2008, you endorsed Barack Obama 2 days after he crossed the magic number with pledged and superdelegates before Hillary Clinton exited the race, well before the convention. In fact, the Burlington Free Press quotes you as saying, again, 2 days after he crossed that threshold, I will do everything I can to get him elected, and referred to him as the nominee. Why is it different in your case
Well, look,
now?
all we are saying, again, I think I made the point that I wanted to make just the other day. The issue right now is we have an important primary tomorrow. That's what we have. We are working as hard as we can. As soon as I'll leave here and get some food in my stomach, I'm going to go out talking to a lot of people and doing everything that I can. We got a good rally here in San Francisco. So right now my focus is on winning the largest state in our country, which has 475 delegates, and in winning the South and North Dakota elections, in winning Montana, and in winning New Mexico, and doing the best we can in the tough race in New Jersey. So that is where I hope. Yeah.
So based on what you just said to Jeff, though, I just want to clarify, if I can, Senator. You said, you're going to look at how you do tomorrow, and you're going to look at whether or not it looks like some superdelegates are turning. If the numbers aren't with you tomorrow, and if you don't get an indication, would you consider endorsing Hillary Clinton before the convention?
Well, that's something. First of all, you're asking me to speculate. So let me just talk to you after the primary here in California, where we hope to win. Let's assess where we are after tomorrow before we make statements based on speculation. Yeah,
Senator, when you talk about that assessment period, regardless of what happens tomorrow, can you give us some insight into how you would like to spend the rest of the week, whether it's in Washington campaigning ahead of that contest, in Burlington, Vermont, thinking through your superdelegate strategy? What are you planning for the rest of the week?
Right. We're going back. We'll be in LA tonight. We will, tomorrow night, I'm sorry, we'll be in LA tomorrow night. We'll be taking a plane back to Burlington, and certainly we'll be campaigning in DC. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Have you gotten any superdelegates either to commit to switching to you, or are you in private conversations with any with that?
Yeah, we are in private.
What you do in California?
We are in private conversations, and we've seen a little bit of momentum. I think there are 4 superdelegates in 3 or 4 states who have come over to us.
4 who already have?
4 who are uncommitted.
And are there more who are confident?
Yeah, I think there's no question that we're going to get more. No question.
Senator,
Yes.
the White House is signaling that the president wants to get back on the campaign trail. If President Obama were to endorse Hillary Clinton soon, would that have any bearing on your thinking as you look ahead to the convention?
Well, again, we're speculating before what is in fact the most important primary. Tomorrow, we have 475 pledged delegates coming up. And my job in the next 24 hours is to do everything that I can to win those delegates. Let me just conclude by saying this. When we started this campaign a little bit over a year ago in Burlington, Vermont, I think that most people, and most of you, and most of the punditry thought that this campaign would not go very far. And yet we are on June 6th arguing or debating who will win California tomorrow. We have now won 20 states. I have little doubt that we're going to win a number of more tomorrow. We have now won well over 9 million votes. We have won in every state that we have contested in. And this is also a point that we make to the superdelegates and we make to the whole convention when we talk about the future of America, is that in overwhelming numbers, we are winning the support of people 45 years of age or younger, people who are the future of this country. And I wish that I could tell you that we were doing better among older people. We should be, but we're not. But we are doing phenomenally well among people who are the future of this country, who will shape the future of this country. And that is a point, I think, not to be overlooked. Thanks very much.
How are you feeling about California, Senator?
All right, so from one town in California to the next, here we are, the eve ahead of mega primary day, the final Super Tuesday. Let me just play some sound now from Hillary Clinton, who just took part in a press gaggle.